Hello, it's Chelsea Jerusalem with the Jerusalem's Happy Home team here. Just doing a little review on where things are at with the real estate market right now. Topic I'm going to touch on is what things appreciating as fast as they are right now, how are appraisals happening and substantiating those values. The answer is that's a good concern with properties going for huge swings above what the previous property had sold for in the same neighborhood. It is a big concern for the appraiser to be able to substantiate that value, to be able to say, hey lender, yeah, this house is worth as much as my client wants to pay for it, so sure, lend the money on it. There is a gap that's starting to occur, and in the rapidly appreciating markets, it's a valid concern. And so what we need to do is address that concern in one way or another. And in a seller's market, the way we are addressing that concern is the buyer takes on the risk. So in order to get your offer accepted in today's market, you need to alleviate as many concerns as possible for the seller. Anything that the seller thinks is going to go wrong, if you can solve that problem, you're in a better position than the other buyers. So solving the problems for the seller puts you in the best position for winning the offer. And because everybody's trying to solve the seller's problems, we've come up with a form even that exists to solve this problem preemptively. So what people have been doing is they've been coming up with their own way of doing it, and the attorneys were like, hey, real estate agents, we want to make sure you're doing this the right way. And so we have a form now in place that's called the additional down payment form. So that's where you can say at the time you make your offer, I'm willing to come up with an X amount of extra dollars to cover the potential difference between how much this house is that I'm willing to pay for it and how much an appraiser could say it's going to actually appraise for. So there is actually a form that exists for that. Says, hey, I'm going to put my 5% down payment because I need to do that in order to get the loan. But if the appraiser isn't able to say this house is worth $500,000, I'm willing to pay $500,000 for it, and I'll come up with X dollars. Let's say an extra $20,000 cash out of pocket to cover that gap. So that is something that's not only happening fairly frequently. It's almost every transaction I've been a part of has expected a 22AD to be included in the offer, and if you don't have one, you're basically out of a pile. So you have to basically be willing to do something towards that in order to be competitive. There may be some circumstances where that's not the case, but in most market areas we are seeing that be very common, and it's like we're seeing $40,000 to $50,000 swings from one month to the next, and that's in a $400,000 price range. I'm not talking about $1 million houses. So if we're seeing a $400,000 house now sell for $450,000, that's a big gap for an appraiser to try and substantiate. So that's something that's realistically really going on right now. People are really paying over appraisal, which in markets prior we would be like, no one's going to pay more than what it appraises for. Well, it's happening on a daily basis now. So that's just commonplace in our market, and that's what's going on. And it's complicated, it's confusing, and if you want to buy a house in today's market, I highly recommend you get yourself aligned with somebody who's a professional who knows how to navigate this market. Because if you want to get a house and not just be shopping, that's what you need, is somebody who knows how to get it done. We definitely are happy to have just a consultation with you if that's something that you're interested in trying to figure out, hey, is this a game I can even play right now, or should I wait, or what would make sense? We definitely are happy just to even have that conversation to see if now's the time, or maybe it is worth waiting. So if you ever have any questions, I'm always happy to answer, even if you aren't actually going to buy or sell anything with me. Conversations are where it starts. So happy to help you guys accomplish your goals however we can. Call, text, email, private message me. Oop, that's the wrong side. happyhometeam.com. See you soon.